everything, is not perturbed by anything, is not taken for a ride, and neither does the person want to change something or make everything mesh into something. It's not like that at all. So the person enjoys the differences without coming into their spell. That is the idea. And those differences are what are called mithya. The differences are mithya, and what is not mithya, what is the reality? I myself am the reality. I myself am one with everything, and I am not separate from anything else. This is the first sign, lakshana of Jivan Mukti, freedom while alive. The Bhedam, all the differences are gone. Jivatma Brahma Bhedam Dalayati Sahasa. How is it gone? Yat Prakasha Ekarupam Vijnanam. So, because of this light of knowledge, what is this knowledge? Vedanta Shastra. That is the light of this knowledge. And the light of this knowledge is non-separate from the light that is oneself. What do we mean by the light that is oneself? If I say, are you there? What will you say? Yes, here I am. That light which makes you cognize yourself, the existence of yourself, which is self-lit and which is self-aware, which is self-existent. That light, that is the light. And that light alone here is talked about as the Prakasha Ekarupam. Ekarupam doesn't mean one form of light, okay? The Ekarupam means that which is only in the form of light, which is all light, which is all a form of knowing, a form of knowing that never becomes unknown. I know that even if I don't know something, I know that I do not know it. So yat prakashaika rupam vijnanam, this knowledge. Tat cha, that buddhau samuditam atulam, that which obtains in the faculty of knowing called as the buddhi. So this knowledge obtaining in the buddhi, the faculty of knowing, what does it do? Sahasa nashayati dalayati. It makes the differences into powder. It just makes them disappear. It makes the differences into just a powder. Dalayati, it powders the differences, makes the differences disappear. For whom yasya pumsaha pavitram, for whichever person who has gained this knowledge and is a jivan mukta. That is the idea. So whichever person, pumsaha means for the person, pumsaha, yasya pumsaha, for which person this jnanam has arisen. How does this knowledge arise? How does the knowledge I'm non-separate from everything come?
Through Vedanta. Through
Through
Vedanta.
Vedanta. Through Vedanta, through studying with a teacher, through studying the Shastra, through Shravanam. It's not that suddenly one figures it out. Even if suddenly one figures it out, to have a stay, have that knowledge stay without really, what is the word for it, becoming wishy-washy or becoming unstable, it takes some time of exposure to the knowledge. And so this is how Guru Mukhat, through the teaching, through the teacher, the person gains this knowledge. What kind of knowledge? Pavitram Jnanam, the most sacred knowledge. Sacred, why? Because knowing which there are the person's identity changes from thinking of oneself as a small, no good and dead end personality through a person which is equated to the source of the universe. to the Purusha. So when one recognizes oneself as non-separate from Ishvara, that becomes sacred knowledge, because that is the one is really, really yearned for. This is the knowledge that is yearned for. So then, so then it is atulam. Atulam means incomparable. Why is it incomparable? It is incomparable because it's not like any other pursuit. All other pursuits cannot be equated with the pursuit of this Vedanta, because Vedanta is the one that offs all other pursuits. So it's not on a par, because in all other pursuits one seeks the finite, gains the finite, while all the time wanting the infinite. There is a difference. Vedanta is the pursuit of the infinite, pursuit of oneself as the infinite, and so therefore there is not a connection to other pursuits and Vedanta, because in other pursuits one unabashedly goes after the finite and then sits and cries. If one doesn't get it, one sits and cries, of course. But then here the funny thing is, even after getting it, one sits and cries. Because it's over, it's finite. So that's why this pursuit is not like any other pursuit. Where the Brahman is not one more thing in the universe. In fact, it is the thing that one is seeking without really knowing it. When you know it, then you can really change your life to seek that thing. But if you don't know it, usually one comes to Vedanta after seeking this, that, and then not finding satisfaction. Finally, one is dragged into the Vedanta class. Okay. So then next one, yeah. So this is the so then what happens at this when the person gains this knowledge is talked about here. Maya tena eva tasya purushasya kshayam upagamita. Kshayam upagamita means Maya starts to rot. What is Maya? That which has twofold powers. That which keeps me from knowing the truth about myself, first one. And the second thing, that which has, what is that? Mm, which has the uh, power to make the one into as though many. Many trees, many names, many forms, many things. So many things. But the truth of all of them is one, and that is denied to me. And since I see there are so many things, what do? I want to count each and everything. And I start to like a few things, and I start to keep away a few things because I dislike them. And so, like this, there are problems, because when I see myself as one being among many, many beings and many, many words and many, many meanings, many, many names and many, many forms, I feel lost. I feel invisible. I feel like I cannot stand out, and more than anything, I am subject to fear. I'm subject to fear. I feel afraid because the whole world is out to get me. That's a terrible fear. One doesn't feel safe. And one really never feels safe. You come out of the house, and just before you come out of the house, you have heard that, oh, there are lots of pickpockets around, and then you don't feel safe. And then you go into a grocery store, and then you hear, oh, the last time I looked at the news, there were some shootouts in a grocery store. There also you don't feel safe. So, this fear of everything, fear of decimation, fear of somebody doing something to me, fear of someone taking away what I have and what I want to have from me, all this is the logical corollary of being one among the many. And that is the orientation thanks to Maya. So, Maya here is Ajnanam, with twofold Bhagavat Shakti, which for Bhagavan she is all knowledge, but for the Jiva he has got twofold powers. What are the powers? The first power is that which these things which veils the truth of myself, Avarana Shakti, and then the other one is what? Vikshepa Shakti. And the Vikshepa means projection. So by projecting the one into the as though many, she creates a spoof, and by veiling the truth of my nature as one with Ishvara, she creates another spoof and keeps one going around and round on the sorry go round. We can't call it merry go round of samsara, where desire and the pressure to fulfill the desire is because of Atma Ajnana. I don't know who I am. That's why there are so many desires. I don't know the truth of myself. So, if I know the truth of myself, will the desires stop? They may stop, they may not stop. But that's not the criteria. The criterion is not whether the desires stop or not. The criterion is, do your desires manage you, or are you able to manage them? That is the criterion. If you are able to manage them, this is what we want. It is wonderful. If they continue to manage you, then this is not self knowledge. And so here, the this Maya, and who is this Maya? He has a few words for this Maya. Tenaiva Maya, tenaiva tasya kshayam upagata, kshayam upagamita Maya. Tena means this jnanena, vijnanena. Because of this knowledge, kshayam upagamita, Maya is shown the back door. Please leave. Bye bye, Maya. You wave a hanky, okay? Why do you wave a hanky? Because you tell Maya, no more hanky panky. I am not under your spell anymore. Bye bye, Maya. I'm not going to believe you. I'm not under your spell. I'm not having anything to do with you, because you may say that everything is different from everything else, but I know better. I have studied this. I know better. I know that even though everything has apparent difference, the reality of everything is one and the same. I know better. And so this is exactly how this Maya is mm, Maya is kshayam upagamita. Slowly Maya backs away from having an effect on the human being. Which human being? The one who is one with this knowledge. And what is this Maya? Samsritehe karanam ya. Ya means yeah, right. No. Ya. Ya is the feminine of yaha, who. So who, she, who. Yeah. And yeah, that is correct. And she who samsritehe karanam, the cause of samsara. What is samsara? Some sorrow or another. That is what is samsara. Very, very sorry, but I am a samsari. That's what you can say. And so, this is for such a person, Maya beats a retreat. Maya backs off, and then along with that, samsara goes away. Why? Because she takes her creation with her. Wherever she goes, because she is non separate from the creation. And so she takes the creation wherever she goes. And so the spoof of the creation being called, she takes samsara with her. And then what does she do? So the samsara comes to an end. What is samsara? Differences, fear, sorrow, and alienation from the whole, samsara. Alienation from oneself, samsara. Alienation from everything that one loves, samsara. A seeming feeling of distance from everything else, samsara. And then fear that somebody else is better off than I am, more happy, more valued, more famous. more equipped, more endowed with prosperity, etc., than me, that itself becomes the cause. That's the manifestation of samsara. What else is samsara? A sense of incompletion. I'm not enough. Nothing is enough. I need to have this in order to be complete. And this could be anything from a pet to, some riches, name, fame, house, partnership, partner, etc. All these things are needed to complete the I. That is all this, all these longings are called samsara. And then all these longings are samsara. And what has happened along with Maya, the cause of samsara? Why? Because she herself is the cause of samsara. When the cause of samsara goes away, the samsara has no leg to stand on. Samsara itself dies when it is uprooted by this knowledge. Samsara uprooted, Maya uprooted, because Maya is the cause of samsara. So when you uproot samsara, Maya goes. Or you say, I want to get rid of Maya, and you get rid of Maya, samsara goes. They have a codependent relationship. And so what happens? Samsritehe karanam ya. And then sa nashta. She is destroyed. Who is she? Karya Kartri, mischief maker. Very nice word. Karya Kartri. Karyam Ajnanam. Ajnanam and the resultant Brahma. Brahma is the opposite of Prama. Prama means knowledge. Brahma means, what is Brahma? Delusion. So she who is the cause of delusion, when she goes away, she takes away delusion that I am a mortal. This is a delusion. That I am separate from everyone else. This is a delusion. I'll never get anything right. Delusion. All because of Atma Jnana. So, Sa Nashta, when she is destroyed, then what happens? These, she's a Karya Kartri. The mischief maker, when she is gone, the mischief is also gone. And what is the mischief? Keeping everything separate from everyone else. Okay. So, keeping everything separate from everyone else, that is the mischief. And so the mischief maker is gone. Karya Kartri. Kartri, doer. Karya means here the effect. Effect of what? Atma Ajnana. Effect of self-ignorance is what? Effect of self-ignorance is uh, feeling small, separate, and disconnected from everyone and everything else. This is the separation. So when the mischief maker goes away, the separation and the chaos she had sown the seeds of, all of them die and go away. This is true even in like in a committee. Let's say you're having a committee or you're sitting on a board, and that's why it's called a board, because soon everyone gets bored. So you're sitting on the board of some organization, and then what? Then you start looking at this and thinking that this would run so well. You want to do something wonderful in your spare time. You want to make a little difference happen. You really like the cause for which the organization stands, and you are wanting to work for it. But then there is one more bored person, literally and figuratively, who creates a lot of mischief. Let's say she or he is very persnickety, nothing satisfies, and always wants the long way. If there is something that can be done efficiently and quickly, no, 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 I want the long way. I want everybody's signature. I want everybody's approval. I want everybody's everything. I want to do everything the long way and my way or the highway. And then sometimes, so one scenario could be this. Sometimes there are other mischief makers in the organization. They talk bad about another person and then to you, and then they talk bad about you to the other person, creating deep wedges. And sometimes, the mischief maker takes the form of exercising too much control over everything. They want to control all the things. They're very, very possessive and have to have everything run by them, micromanagers. So, like this, no work gets done. It's almost like the government in any country. So, any country, this is the problem. No work gets done. All the money, all the resources have gone holding meetings and feeding all the board members sandwiches and water and tea and all that, because of the numbers of meetings they have to have. Just in order to have one more meeting, they have to have this meeting in order to understand how to have the next meeting. That's all seems to be getting done. All because of one person who is, everybody knows. Nobody may name them because they are afraid, or because of their power they exercise, or because they just don't want to talk bad. But everybody knows this is the person because of which there is so much cacophony and chaos in the organization. And suddenly, surprise, happy times are ahead. Why? Because the board member suddenly gives his or her resignation. I have some personal problems coming up. My spouse is sick, or I'm relocating to a different town, and I don't have the time now to do all this. So, bye bye. I'm not going to be on the board. And then what? Everybody heaves a sigh of relief. Everybody heaves a sigh of relief. They're so relieved. And then, after the mischief maker is gone, all their gossip, all their control, all their micromanagement, all the ways in which they were manipulating the people and the situation, and all the dysfunction of not getting any work done, all that goes. And suddenly the organization is functional again. Same thing. When Maya in the form of the mischief maker goes, then good times are at hand. Just like one troubling person in an organization, one bad apple spoils the whole bunch. Similarly, one Maya you put, and then she causes enough mischief for everybody to feel like they should just sign out, they should resign from life. But then there is no way of resigning from life. And so now Maya goes, and along with her, all the mischief. She takes away all the mischief. And then punarapi na eva bhavita. And there is an assurance that is given. So bhavita means will become. Punarapi na eva, will not come back again. Once the Maya has gone, she is gone. She is not back. For whom? For you. Who is this I? The one that has self knowledge. For the one with self knowledge, once the Maya goes, never again is she going to come back. Why? Because that is how ignorance is. Ignorance is dispelled and then it doesn't come back. Like until 2022 came, after the first year of kind of semi functionality after the pandemic, uh, until this year, past year, nobody knew the meaning of the word quiet quitting. There is such a thing. Quiet quitting means you just quietly do your job. You don't do anything extra to please the boss. You don't do anything at all. You pack up your bags at 4:45 when the office closes at 5, and you don't even try to show that you're a team player. And then if they fire you, it's okay, you are fine, but you're not going to quit on your own, because you don't want that on your resume or whatever it is. You don't want that. You don't have another job, so you want this job, you're dependent on this job, so you're not really quitting, but for all practical purposes you have quit. So this is called quiet quitting. If in 2018, if somebody said, are you quiet quitting, they would have said, what? But now there are so many articles about quiet quitting and so many things. So like that, there is so just like that, certain things suddenly we know the meaning of, and then then it becomes famous like that. That, so now you know the meaning of the word quiet quitting, correct? Are you able to forget it? No. So definitely not. Now you always know the meaning of quiet quitting. Why? Because quiet quitting ignorance has been dispelled, right? So similarly, this is anatma ajnana. This is not atma ignorance. This is the ignorance of not I. Quiet quitting is belongs to the realm of anatma, not I. So when not I ignorance is gone, you still again don't know. You know what this quiet quitting means. You'll never forget that. So similarly, when Atma ignorance is gone, Atma means I. The ignorance of the I is gone, it will not come back. Now, quiet quitting has come into the dictionary because enough people are doing it to be to warrant it coming in the dictionary. And so now, so punarapi na eva bhavita. Bhavita will be. It's kind of a, what is that called? Periphrastic future tense. So she will never become again part of your life. She will never come back. And what is the only cause why she won't come back? Vijnana matra. Only due to this self knowledge, she will never, ever, ever, ever come back. She will not ever come back. That is the idea. Because of this self knowledge, she will not come back. Nashta sa karyakartri punarapi na eva bhavita. Why? Vijnana matra. Let's see if we have left anything out, any word. No. Samuditam atulam tasya pumsaha pavitram maya tenaiva tasya. Yeah, we have seen that. So, very nice summation of what it takes. See how much he has covered in this verse. What does it take to have Atma knowledge? How is ignorance dispelled? Through this Atma knowledge. And what happens to Maya? The delusion that I am alone and I am unconnected to everything and everyone else. I'm unconnected to the source of the universe. I'm subject to samsara. I'm subject to death. I'm immortal. All these are gone. All these are totally gone for the person who is understanding this knowledge gained properly through the teacher, etc., etc. That all is understood. Then the next verse also makes the same idea a little more. What is the word for it? A little more obvious. Mm, it the next verse is going to talk about what it takes. What does it take? Uh, Let me rephrase that. How is the relationship of the jnani, the person of knowledge, to the world and all its accoutrements and its difficulties and its finitude? How does the jnani relate to the world? Little shocking, but then it's very interesting as well. Let us find out how the jnani relates to the world. So, ready?
Yes.
Vishwam neti pramanat
Vishwandehi pramana
vigalita
vigalita
Lalipa
jagadakara bhastyajed
Dvai
pītvā yadvat
Vidva
phalam vastyajati cha
Phalam Vasya
sutaram tat phalam saurabhadyam
Phalam Saurabhyam
samyak satchit
Samyak
Samyak
Satyam
Satyat
घनैका घनैकामृतसुख कवलस्वादपूर्णो हृदासौ ज्ञात्वा निस्सारमेवम् जगदखिलमिदम् स्वप्रभः शान्तचित्तः So, Swaprabha, Shantachittaha is being described. That is the noun of the sentence. Swaprabha, the one who is self-effulgent. Everything is self-effulgent. But the one who knows, I am the truth of this universe. I am everything, that person. Swaprabha, who is Shantachittaha, of an undisturbed demeanor, whose emotions are on an even keel and does not get easily perturbed by people, situation, and things not going their own way. Shanta chittaha. If anything doesn't go their way, they don't get agitated, they don't get upset, they don't get all out, bent out of shape. Shanta chittaha. They are able to just go with the flow regardless of whatever is happening around. Swaprabha, shining with knowledge. There is a certain resplendence, a tejas, a kind of a brilliance about them in their very being they carry, and they carry a brilliance and they carry a kind of a peace at the same time. Like a steady burning fire, which when you look at it, you feel it is, it is like, gives you a sense of peace. So the Jnani is like that. Swaprabha, second last word, and then Shanta Chittaha. Shanta Chittaha and Swaprabha. So this is the Jnani described by these two words, Swaprabha and Shanta Chittaha. And what does this Swaprabha Shanta Chittaha do? Then we have to go to the front. Vishwam na iti. Na iti means what? Is not. Is not like this. We should say like this. Is not correct. Is not like this. Na iti. Iti means thus. Na iti, not thus. Vishwam means what? The world is not what it appears. That the Jnani knows. The world appears very, very distinct from each thing, distinct from every other thing, and the world is not what it appears. Vishwam na iti. And then why pramanat? Because of Shastra pramana. What is Shastra pramana? Huh?
There's no behavior between the
Pramana, Shastra as a means of knowledge. Because of Shastra, which is the Pramana? Shastrameva Pramana. Pramanam Shastra Pramana. So Shastra Pramana, Tasmat, because of Shastra, which functions as a means of knowledge. And that, of course, what is the Pramana? Then you can say that. But Shastra itself is the Pramana. Pramana means it's a means of knowledge to know the non-separation between myself and anyone else. This is Shastra Pramana. Shastra Pramana. Shastra Pramanat Vigalita Jagadakara Bhanaha Tyajet Vai. Vigalita. Vigalita means melted. The fire of the Shastra Pramana burns through the apparent reality like even a rope that is burnt. When a rope is burnt, you see the akara of the rope, right? You see the form of the rope and you see the twists. But it is all, if you touch it, it is ashes. Or if you can't relate to that, let's take another example. A newspaper. Newspaper is burned. Let's say a whole house, unfortunately, has gone up in flames. And then the insurance company is there to assess the damage. And they go from room to room. In one room, there is just a newspaper kept there and it is being just burned. There was a terrible fire, that some electrical fire, and it just went through the house. And so you can even read the headlines on the paper. But you touch it, it falls apart. It is bhasma. But it gives the apparent notion of standing reality. Like the rope with all its twists. The twists are visible, even though it's burned to ashes. But if you touch it, it disintegrates. So the world becomes like the burnt rope or the burnt newspaper for the jnani. It is there, but for the jnani, it has lost its transactability. Why has it lost its transactability? Because it's all one way. Because the jnani sees the world as an extension of himself or herself. The world does not see the jnani in that way, and so therefore there is no transactability with you. Like the right hand, my right hand does not do transactions with my left hand. Hello, how are you doing? Say namaste to me. No, 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 say namaste to me. It doesn't fight. Why? Because it is, it's all me. This is how we think. This is all me. Similarly, the right leg, when I'm going for a walk, does not say, I am the right leg, so I'm taking a right turn. And the left leg says, no, 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 I am what's left. And so I'm taking a left turn. Then that would be terrible. You would be quartering yourself in the street because there is so much, unless there is some kind of a medical condition. I don't know what it's called. Maybe somebody will be able to tell me. There is a medical condition where they don't recognize, the patient does not recognize their own body part. They feel it's like an alien. If they see the hand, they get scared of their own hand. So there is some kind of a medical condition like that. They don't recognize their own body parts, but that's a kind of a neurological problem. Barring that, whatever I think is me, I'm not having a kind of a separateness with that. It's all me. And same thing, whatever I consider mine also. Again, if I say this is my family, somebody says this is my family, this is my spouse, this is my pet, this is my house, there is a certain kind of a relationship of oneness with those people as a unit. And so necessarily they may fight or something occasionally, but it's for the world at large. They meet the world at large as a unit. And so like this, the here for the jnani, the jagadakara bhanah tyajet. Bhanah means that bhati, that which shines as the akara, that which shines as the shape or name and form of the jagat. May that person give up. Why? Because the fire of knowledge has burned through the delusion that this is all different from me. And so, even though the differences are apparent, like the twists in the rope of a burnt rope, or the newspaper, burnt newspaper, the print is still there and you feel like you can read the headlines. But then when you go to touch it, it's all burnt. That recognition is there for the jnani. I am reading the headlines, the news of a already burnt jagat. Oh, but this is so depressing. I thought the life of the jnani would be much more interesting. Here it's all ash right at the start. What did you want? Cash. So in a sea in front of the ash. This is so boring. Once a child asked me, what's the difference between Vishnu and Shiva? One child asked me. I said, Shiva, ash. Vishnu, cash. It's truth. So, Shiva is for Vairagya. Given up everything, given up this, given up that, given up, given up, given up. And Vishnu is prosperity. Abundance, married to Mahalakshmi, of course. She is his consort. She'll never, let him wear tatters like Shiva. He's always well dressed, and because she's the owner of all resources. So one would think that a Jnani's life would be very colorful. And here it is presented as grey and ash. Not fair. I don't want to read this anymore. I don't want to know about the Jnani anymore because this is so boring. Twisted, burnt rope, burnt newspaper, and that you're equating to the Jagat. So the Jnani looks at the Jagat as a burnt Jagat. It gives the feeling of the sci-fi movies where the mushroom cloud has come and gone. And then there are a few, what is that, mutated survivors. Some science fiction dystopia walking through piles of smoke. We see this. It is the stuff of, movies which later become what raw materials for nightmares. This is all sci-fi stuff. Like everything is grey. It's almost in sepia. Sepia is more colorful, but this is just grey. Sepia is at least artistic, gives a kind of a vintage, but this is just drab and grey, and there are piles of smoke, and no human beings, only a few mutant survivors, supposed jnanis, and then they are dealing with this grey universe. Is it like that? Because that is what is in the collective imagination. Stuff of nightmares. No, 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 no. Don't go by the drastic examples. I'm just giving those examples of the burnt rope and the burnt newspaper. Don't blame the author, because the example that the author is going to give is actually very, very interesting. The author is going to give the example of a particular kind of mango found only in India, which is very juicy. I forget what it's called, but it's very juicy, and it's fibrous and juicy. You can't cut it and eat it. It's just juice. So you massage it nicely. You massage the mango till it's just pulp. Okay. You massage the mango, and then you make somebody gave the meaning or the name of the mango also, Rasalu, I believe. Yes, full of rasa. That makes sense. And then yeah, these answers come very quickly, unlike Vedanta questions. Vedanta answers take time. So, this mango you massage nicely, and then you just cut a hole with your teeth and just kind of drink it. You drink the mango, and in this particular mango eating competition, you're not supposed to drip a little bit of juice also. You have to eat it without really dripping the juice. You have to suck the whole essence of the mango out. All that should be left is the pit and the skin. That's it. And it's all concave now. The little loose pit and the greenish orange skin. That's all there is. Then, having taken the sara means the essence of the mango, you have sucked it, what, dry, you have to call it, correct? Do you then keep this pit at home, or even though it may be very fragrant, what do you do to that skin and bone, that pit and skin? What do you do to this? You discard it. Of course, Eugene, the answer will come. You compost it, or you post it to a person you don't like, perhaps, out of a sense of mischief. So you compost it. Okay, this is typical Eugene response. Yeah, this is what is the recycling capital of the universe. All right. So you just like you compost it. Why? Because it is nissara. Nissara means what? Without essence. It is without essence, therefore it is not essential. So you discard. Similarly, the one who has seized the whole Jagat, the whole universe as a mango, and has become one and has ingested the truth of it, which is non separate from oneself, that truth of the Jagat has become, quote unquote, himself, herself, then the Jagat is what? Discarded like a pit and skin of the mango. Why? because that person is one with that whole truth of the Jagat, of the universe, which is sweet and fragrant. More we'll see next week, the rest of this verse. Okay. So it's far more interesting than thought. It's not all like a sci-fi horror show. Okay. So hang in there. And then what? We have 2 days off. Thursday and Friday we have off. No, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, 3 days we have off. I will be in stealth mode, and and then what do we have on Saturday? We have classes coming out of the ears. Saturday we have Taittiriya Bhashya, 12:30 Eastern Time. And then what else do we have? Mundaka Upanishad, 1:30 or 2 o'clock Eastern Time. And then Sunday,
Sunday.
no, Saturday,
Saturday Bodhisara.
Sunday, Taittiriya Bhashya, again 12:30 Eastern Time. And then 1:32 or 2 Eastern Time, we have Mundaka Upanishad. Okay, yes.
And this one next.
Yeah, this one will meet again next Tuesday, and then yesterday's will meet next Monday. All right. Okay. Yeah. Chausa. See, 2, 3 names of mangoes came. Yeah, Chausa. Yeah, so many things came. All right. Yeah, Happy New Year to everyone. Okay. All the best. Take care. Om Namah Shivaya.